Welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to discuss in detail about operating system services, how the operating system is working, and what are all the services provided based on the user functionalities and then the system functionalities. Well, seeing in this figure, the first thing, the user part, so user interfaces, and then system call and operating system services. So under these services, program execution, IO operation, file system, communication, and error detection, all these things the user involvement is there. So user related functions and system related functions, resource allocation, accounting, and protection and security. So now we will discuss one by one how it is there. Operating system is providing the environment for execution of program and then services to the program and users. So if you are just taking how um it helps to the users and what are all the functions. The first thing is the user interface. So almost all the operating system has the user interface. So like command line interpreter or otherwise GUI or batch processing, any one of the kind of the user interfaces providing by the operating system. The first service is the program execution. The system can able to load the program into the memory and then it's running the program. Then after the execution, it needs to end the program. If the program executed successfully, then its ending is the normal process. In between any error or interruption is there, the program forcefully to stop the process. The execution going to be stopped. That is the abnormal execution stop. The next thing is the IO operations, input output operation. So if the program is running, it needs some IO input and output. So it may involve a file or otherwise the input output devices. From that it will be taking. And next services, uh, it's also help to the user, the file system manipulations. So what are all the manipulations generally we will do under the file system means read the file and writing on the files or otherwise changing the directories. All these involved under the file system manipulations. And then communication related the process, it may be exchanging some information between the one process to the another, so one file to another. So like that the communication, the exchanging the information on the same computers or between the computers or over the network, all the things is considering as a communications. It the communication may happen via the memory or otherwise through some message passing like that. So the next one is the error detection. So error detection is one of the most important thing. It is constantly awareing the possible errors, where the errors we can able to handle. So the it may occur in the CPUs and memory hardwares or IO devices or in the user programs. So some type of the errors OS should take some appropriate actions to ensure the correctness of for the executions. And debugging facilities, so once the error is there, so then we have to debug that facilities. It is a main thing for the users as well as the programmers ability to efficiently use the system. And then next services, it's related to the system. So how it is efficient operation for the system. The first thing is a resource allocation. So when the multiple users or multiple joins are running concurrently, so how the resources are going to be divided and then allotted to the each and every one. So many type of the resources like CPUs, main memory, file storages, IO devices like that. And second thing is the accounting. Accounting is nothing but it's keep track of the which user and uses the how much resources and what kind of the resources they are using. For example, the simple example for the resource allocation and then accounting, the students are going for the lab means, so each and every person one system will be allotted, so that allotment is given by the program lab in charge. Okay, so here the lab in charge is like as a OS, you just imagine. So for the person one, so the first system is allotted, so that is a resource allocation, that resource system is allotted for you. And then not only the allocation, the lab is just doing the another thing, so they are just maintaining one record, so the student registration number and then name, which system is allotted for that, and what is the in time and then out time. So this is the management for the lab management, and they are just keeping the record for the further accounting. So the system is used by which person and how long he is using, and what are all the resources used by the particular person. So that is information for it's maintained for that particular lab. Similarly here, so this kind of the process is called as a accounting. So similarly here, the OS is maintaining the accounting to keep track which user and how much resources they are using, and what kind of the resources used by the particular user. So like that, they are just maintaining some accounting information for the further process. And then protection and security, so the owners of the information stored in a multi-users net, and the computer system may want to control the information, because when you are using the concurrent process, so all the users we can't able to giving the information for all kind of the access. So someone should not alter our original data, so we have to protect or restricting the access for the each and every users. So these are the things comes under the protection and then security. um, First of all, the protection means it's ensuring all the access to the system resources is controlled manner. Security from the outsiders, anything it's modified or not, so we are just checking the user authentication is the security. So protection is access controlling, that is a protection. And user interfaces for providing by the operating system, so generally it is in a CLI or otherwise a GUI mode. So CLI is a command line interpreter, so using the commands we are just giving the instruction, and GUI is, we know very well, the graphical user interface, so it's a very easy for the user as well as a convenient. So nowadays the most of the system is helping us in providing in the both the GUI as well as in the CLI modes. System calls, um, so we know very well, so whenever the operating system working in a dual mode, that is a user mode to kernel and kernel mode to user, so the system call is the most important thing, so the program interface to the service provided by the user. So whenever from the user mode we are just initiating the system, so that will come to the user system called interfaces, and then the mode bit is going to be changed and performing that kind of the system call, and then after finishing that execution it will be returned back to the user mode. So this is the process of the execution of the system call. So here it's simply we are just giving the open system call, so this is related to the file opening. So it reaches the system called interface, and then the particular portion of the execution is taking. After finishing that, the file will be open and then it will return back to the user. So what kind of the system calls are available? Different types of system calls are there. The first thing is the process creation, process control related system calls. So creating the process, terminating the process, or aborting, loading, execute, or waiting. So all these related thing of the process. Is called as a process control system calls. And then file management system calls, so creation of the files, deletion of the file, opening the file, closing, reading the file, writing, or otherwise repositioning, getting some attributes from the files, or we are setting some attributes. All these relevant operations working under the file is called as a file management system calls. And then next one is the device management. So device management means related to our devices. So requesting the devices or releasing the devices. After finishing that, we want to release that particular device. Releasing the devices, reading and writing operations, same thing, or getting some device attributes or setting attributes. All these things comes under the device management. And then information management, we are just getting some information from the system. So getting time or date, or setting the time or date, or setting some process files, devices, all these things. And communication related system calls. So you want to do some communication or creation of communication or deleting the communication, sending the messages or receiving the messages, sharing the memory model creations, transferring the status information, what is the current status. So all these things comes under the communication system calls. And finally the protections, we are just saying about the protection, access controls, controlling the access and getting permission, setting permission, or allowing or denying the user access. So these are the things are comes under the protection system calls. So some of the system calls examples given here in the both the operating systems, Windows operating system as well as the Unix. So under the Unix, if you are seeing the process related, the creation, exit and wait. So for command is called as a creation of the process. This is a system called process creation. So user doesn't know how to create the process. Just simply we will just invoke the for command. It will pass to the user kernel mode. The system will creating the process and after that it will be returned back. So similarly for the exiting the process and then wait. So what kind of the file manipulations, opening the files, reading and writing, the same thing. So similar kind of the commands it's given for the Windows operating system. And file manipulations and informations related. So what is the current process ID? So get PID and get PPID, parent process. So these are all the information related things. So sleeping, alarm setting, everything. And communication pipe and sh get, that is a creation of file mapping. Protection related, chmod, we are just setting the control for the user or execution mode or access mode, read mode or write mode, or execution mode for the particular user or all the users, like that we are just setting now. That is nothing but the chmod. um, and then and umask and then ch own ownerships, everything we are just related to the system call. So some of the examples is given for the both the Windows and then Unix system calls. Thank you.